All right, well, you guys go ahead and start firing away. I know you're going to ask if we're going to do anything else tonight, so you guys may just have to hang around a little bit, all right?
Did you think that Reese would be there?
No. We hoped, but there weren't a lot of scenarios that we went through where he may be available.
How do you envision him fitting in? You obviously have Kayvon and friends.
Yeah, Reese, Arvell is a versatile player, and we're going to play him at inside backer, will linebacker. Our defense is pretty flexible, positionless, you might call it. We have an opportunity to move those guys around, but he'll line up next to Tremaine, and he'll be in the A gap, the B gap, the C gap, the D gap, off the edge. He'll be moving around with all of our guys, Abdul and Brian and Kayvon. And Tremaine. We'll be running games and picks and stunts and different things like that on passing situations. And he's good in coverage as well. He's a versatile player. He's a young player. He's gotten better every single year, playing off the ball and on the ball. So he does both. Probably why he was our highest rated player, non-quarterback player in the draft. He's an exciting player. We are fired up to have him.
You mentioned Kayvon's name. Does this give you flexibility to potentially move on from him, or are you planning to keep Kayvon tipping up?
No. We keep all the good players as much as we can, right?
Yep.
We love Kayvon.
Yep.
What is Reese's upside as a pass rusher?
Oh, it's tremendous. It's tremendous. I mean, again, he's just scratching the surface. You see, the size, the length, the traits, and again, like Coach was talking about, just the versatility that the player has and how we can use him with some of the pieces that we already have. We're not going to necessarily have to ask him to win off the edge. We've got guys that can do that. So we have a phenomenal defensive staff, and they're going to find creative ways to use him.
I can just tell you that we were watching the pro day, right? And standing there watching, he lines up on the edge in a drill where you time him coming off the edge, the quickness, and it was shocking to see how quickly he goes from point A to point B out of his stance. So there's really nothing he can't do physically. He's going to turn 21
in like August 30th.
August.
Yeah, and
He's a young player. It's all upside for him.
Yeah, he's one of the guys again playing on one of the best defenses in America. That shows up. You're like, wow plays.
Was it tempting with Caleb Down sitting there at 10 to choose him, and why did you go with Mauigoa?
We stuck with the board. And CC's another 20-year-old, believe it or not. He'll be 21 in June, so we got two young players that we're fired up about. But a powerful young man with tremendous athleticism and size. And I don't know if you guys saw his interview there on TV. They asked him, what he should tell Jackson, and that's the type of kid he is. So again, to get those two young men that have size and athleticism and the makeup that we desire, and the fact that we know that we're going to have those guys under contract for 5 years, to add some of the young foundational pieces that we already have. I mean, it's really exciting. Really exciting.
Is he starting inside at guard?
Yeah.
You view him as a guard.
We're gonna put him inside at guard. He can certainly play tackle. Sometimes we call these schools and get some of the films, and they have two really good rushers down there at Miami, and Mesidor and Bain, and to watch the practice film of, he's going against NFL dudes on a daily basis and doing a really good job. It was pretty impressive. So he could certainly always bump back out to tackle at any point. We're going to start him at guard.
That was something you heard about, and could possibly need back surgery. Where do you guys stand on that?
Yeah, we're comfortable with it. And we're fortunate that the former trainer from the University of Miami is now one of our trainers. So we have somebody that had been with him for his entire time at Miami and lived with him through the process. It was an injury that occurred in the A&M game, and we were certainly comfortable with it.
Does that mean you don't think he's going to need surgery, or it just might be something you'll see how it kind of works out?
Right now, he's fine. Yeah, he's good right now.
John, with Mauigoa, I know back at the owners' meetings, you said offensive line is still a work in progress. What does this do for your work in progress?
It advances it. We'll have to finish it off at practice, for the next couple of weeks and put it all together. But it makes us a lot more stout. It's two picks that strengthen us down the middle of our offense, down the middle of our defense. These are great players. These are two top 5 players in this draft, in our opinion. You couldn't do any better. I think Joe probably ran about a zillion mocks. Now, I mean, maybe it's slight
Close,
exaggeration.
close.
Zillion seems like a high number, but maybe it was a couple million. And this one didn't come up. This was not one that was really anticipated. And that just shows you that, reality is stranger than fiction is stranger than reality. Reality is stranger than fiction. One of the two.
That's what.
You know what I'm saying. Right? This is exciting. This is not expected. This is something that's really a great opportunity for us.
How did this is the first time I get to talk to you since the Dexter trade? So how did that change your overall approach to this process?
The only thing that changed is we had another, premium pick. With the 10th, we were able to get, 2 good players in the top 10 of our draft, and to get 2 players that we had ranked where we had them ranked, is really going to help us. And again, that's before we traded him, and we knew maybe what the compensation was going to be. We were deep into draft prep, and we had an idea what that pick would mean to us. Maybe not to the extent that it actually ended up, the way it played out. But we knew we were going to get 2 good players if we did have to move him.
When you were going through the trade, did you see CC there, or?
We probably didn't anticipate him. Again, tackles go relatively early, so the fact that by time we anticipated 2 tackles going by time we got to 10. So however that played out, and it played out that they went 9 and 10. And then that was, we figured Cleveland was, and they ended up moving back. So once it came to that, we were a little bit nervous. We weren't sure, which way they were going to go. So, it worked out well for us.
To trade down, I mean, you seem very happy with these players, but maybe,
We had an opportunity at 10 to get out, but where we had the player rank, we stuck with our board. We were so fired up with who we got at 5, and then to follow it up with CC at 10. Just didn't make any sense to try to get cute and do anything else.
I realize you're always looking for the best available player, but after you get an impact player for the defense at 5, is it a natural tendency to lean towards offense at 10 to try to make a difference there? Is that a factor in the evaluation?
Yeah, and we probably, Coach will tell you, we went over our list of 10 players. I mean, the last 2 weeks we've stared at it, we've looked at it, we've adjusted it, we've watched more film. Got together, watched more film, got the coaches more. We've been on it a zillion times. So we just it was the way we had it. We were very confident in it, and it made it real easy. We were just going to follow the board in terms of if it worked out and it was 2 offensive guys, that would have been okay. If it was 2 defensive, that would have been okay. But we were just going in. We had an opportunity to get 2 of our top 10 players in the draft, regardless of position, that were going to help us continue to build this thing.
John, obviously the best Giants teams have had dominant pass rushers. I'm curious if you think this has got the potential to be a dominant pass rush now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a pretty dominant pass rush off the edges already. We had 3 practices this week with those guys, and seeing those guys, seeing Abdul, seeing Kayvon, seeing Brian. I mean, it's eye-opening. It's eye-opening. I haven't seen those kind of guys, for a while in the practice field. Those kind of talented guys. Now we had another guy into that mix. I mean, you get excited. I can't wait to get him on the practice field, with all those guys. And Goldston, I mean, he's a heavy-handed guy.
Yeah.
We got some dudes, We still have work to do on our defense. I mean, we do. We still got some work to do, but this is a big step.
We haven't got a chance to talk to you since the Dex trade. You said earlier you want to keep all the good players. So how did it get to the point of no return with him?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of factors, a lot of layers to it. I think there's the financial part of it. There's probably family part of it. There's probably, part in time in someone's career where they say, it's just time for me to make a change. Things like that. So, but it was. I look at it like a win-win-win. I think it was a win for everybody. For us, the most important thing was that it was a win for the Giants. That's what we cared about the most. We wanted Dexter to be happy, but we wanted the Giants to be taken care of first. That was our responsibility. To get the 10th pick in the draft and then to see it play out tonight, it's pretty clear cut that it's a W for us. Not that it wouldn't have been a W to keep Dexter, it sure would have been, but that didn't turn out to be possible. It wasn't something that he was really prioritizing in the end, and that's okay. That's fine. He got an opportunity, and the Bengals got an opportunity to get a great player, and it's going to make their defense better. So everybody's a winner on this one.
John, you've been at one place for so long. This was your first draft war room with this operation. Did it seem different to you? Did it seem, you haven't had 2 picks in the top 10 either, so.
Yeah, that was different. That was different. We had one in 18. Now we had two. You know, in about an hour, 1.5 maybe. And it was fun. It was impressive to watch. And it's not so much. You know, I thought Joe did a great job tonight, operating. You know, under pressure. Was very well prepared, obviously, and just knew what he wanted to do, and was feeling the different calls and communicating with everybody. We just thought we had a really good operation, and Joe leads the way on that and did a great job with it. And then the lead up, the preparation, the scouts were really good. I thought the scouts were good throughout. Great dialogue, not always agreeing. You know, it wasn't like everybody's on the same page. You know, consensus is not always a great thing, but we ended up agreeing to kind of agree on the fact that we had 10 really good players probably on that board for 10 picks, and we got 2 of our top 5 at the end of the day. So I thought the scouts were great. I thought the coaches did a great job. Just really throughout the organization, it was really fun to be a part of it and watch it. I was very impressed with everything, you know, and as much as anything, the outcome right now. We still have work to do. We have to do 2 more days, but it's a really good start.
Two more.
John, historically, I think with the Ravens, you've taken defensive players high on the drafts. I'm curious, how did that philosophy mesh with looking at a player like Reese and say, hey, this kind of fits in with what I did before, but also with what the team wants to do with him?
Well, it's similar in the sense that over the years, and Joe and I we've had a lot of these kind of philosophical conversations, but really what you want to do is you want to give the draft an opportunity to work for you and let it come to you. You don't want to chase picks. You want picks to chase you. You know, and give them an opportunity to come to you. And sometimes you got to be patient to do that. You know, and get your board right. Make sure you understand. You know all the different possibilities, and don't overreact to things that you hear, things that might happen on draft night. And I thought we did a really good job of that. And all of a sudden, you know, there's Arvell Reese. You know, who's coming to us, and that's happened. It's happened in Baltimore. It's happened in New York a number of times too. I know Joe's had that experience here as well. So. It worked out just the way you would hope it would in that situation. It doesn't always work out that way, but it did tonight.
Where did you have Reese ranked among your top 5?
Can we divulge that? We had him number 1. Yeah. Non-quarterbacks. So.
And you said Mauigoa was in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
5, 4, 3.
All right.
Yeah, it was somewhere there, yeah.
Thank you.
You know it's in top 5. I'll give up everything.
I think it was 4.
There's 3.
See you guys.